What if I told you there was once a car so far ahead of its time, people thought it came from another planet, and instead of worshipping it, they laughed it out of showrooms? Ladies and gentlemen, and my aerodynamic friend Jimmy, who once tried to make his bicycle faster by taping a pizza box to the back. Welcome back to Car History, where forgotten brilliance gets its well-deserved encore. And hey, before we go full throttle into this one, do me a quick favor, drop a like, hit subscribe, and let's keep resurrecting the cars the world wasn't ready for. Now, picture the year 1934. The Great Depression's still squeezing wallets, jazz is playing on dusty radios, and most cars look like square bricks with headlights. Then Chrysler strolls in with something that looks like it just escaped from a science museum. Meet the Chrysler Airflow, the car that didn't just break the rules of design. It shredded them, rewrote them, and then politely asked physics to have a seat. This car wasn't born out of luck. It came from three mad geniuses: Fred Zader, Owen Skelton, and Carl Breer, Chrysler's own dream team of Detroit. One day, Breer's watching military planes cut through the air in perfect formation and thinks, "Why do our cars still fight the wind like a drunk, trying to wrestle a tornado?" That single question launched a revolution. With Walter Chrysler's blessing and his checkbook, the team went full mad scientist, building their own wind tunnel in Dayton, Ohio. That's right, while other automakers were still guessing at shapes, Chrysler was literally testing airflow. Before Elon Musk dug tunnels under LA, Chrysler was already sending cars through artificial hurricanes. When the airflow finally appeared at the 1934 New York Auto Show, jaws dropped, not always in a good way. Gone were the tall, boxy designs of the 20s. The airflow was smooth, rounded, futuristic. It looked like it belonged in Metropolis, not Main Street. Some called it beautiful. Others said it looked like a melting soap bar on wheels. And isn't that funny? The same curves that define every modern car today were once considered ugly. Under the hood, though it was all muscle and innovation, a straight-8 engine, up to 150 horsepower, depending on the model. The unibody design made it lighter, stronger, and safer decades before that became standard. Even the cabin layout was revolutionary. Instead of sitting on the frame, passengers sat between the axles, giving it a ride smoother than a Cadillac's jazz solo. It had hydraulic brakes, better balance, and stability that made most cars of its era feel like shopping carts in a storm. But here's the tragic twist: America wasn't ready. People took one look and said, "Too weird. Give me the old one." It's that classic story: the visionaries suffer while the copycats cash in. You ever notice that? Every generation has its airflow, something brilliant that nobody understands until it's gone. Phones, fashion, music, cars. We always say we want the future until it actually shows up. Now, the airflow did have its fans. Babe Ruth drove one. Dick Powell, the Hollywood actor, had one too. Racer Harry Hartz drove one across the country and set records, burning only $33 worth of fuel. And Chrysler? They pulled one of the boldest stunts ever. They pushed a gutted airflow off a 100-foot cliff to prove how strong it was. It crashed. They started it back up and it drove away. Try that with a 2024 crossover and tell me how your insurance company reacts. But despite all that brilliance, sales tanked. By 1937, Chrysler quietly buried the airflow, replaced it with something more normal. And just like that, one of the most advanced cars ever built faded into a punchline. Except, time has a funny way of proving geniuses right. Because look around today, every single car owes something to the airflow. Aerodynamics? Borrowed from it. Unibody structure? Perfected from it. Driver comfort? Inspired by it. This so-called ugly duckling ended up becoming the ancestor of everything that followed. Today, a surviving airflow can fetch anywhere between $60,000 and $170,000, depending on condition. Not bad for a car that people once refused to be seen in. And that brings me to you. If you were alive in 1934, would you have been brave enough to drive one? Would you have risked the funny looks, the jokes, the "what on earth is that" comments, just to be part of something that changed history? Be honest, because that's the real legacy of the airflow. It wasn't just a car. It was a mirror showing who was ready for the future and who wasn't. So next time someone calls your ideas weird, remember this. Sometimes being too early is just another way of saying ahead of your time. If you enjoyed this ride through Forgotten Genius, smash that like button, subscribe, and tell me in the comments, would you have bought the Airflow or laughed at it like everyone else? Because here at Car History, we celebrate the cars and the people who dared to be different. Until next time, my friends, drive strange, stay curious, and remember, the future always starts with someone crazy enough to build it.